everyone, Ajax the Mister here, and we have another exciting episode of My Hero Academia, episode 13, I believe we're already on. So I'm wondering exactly where the story is gonna go. Last week's episode, it was pretty much an aftermath episode, how everyone was recuperating, how both sides saw their side of the coin, with All Might out of the picture, as well as All for One being, imprisoned in like what seems like a maximum security prison. So right now, I'm hoping in this episode we might get a kickoff to maybe what the next arc is going to be, because I want the ball to be rolling right now. I want to see what everyone is also getting excited for the coming episodes of My Hero, because I believe this season we have about 24 or 25 episodes, just like last season. So we still got plenty of time. I want to know what direction we're going to be going in from now on with this season. So let's not waste any more time and let's get this live reaction on the road. Okay, so we got a recap on what happened. We had All Might, sacrificing some of his pride, bowing down to Izuku's mama. And his words were heavy that day. They were mad heavy. Oh snap, are we? Oh please. Please give us some more insight. They're okay, yeah. They have similar designs somewhat. Bro, that arm's shaking, man. Bro. Oh no. Dude, the mom's the real MVP the last couple weeks. This guy's, no matter what tragedy happens, Mineta just never changes. And that's what I love about him. That's what I love. I want some more development with him. We need more development. Okay, the students. I never even considered that. Maybe one of the students is the leak, the mole that people are trying to figure out. Who knows all of this? Like, who's leaking all this info to the villains? Because they've been finding these kids in these crazy places. Oh, he's calling out 4 specific people. They're gonna get the beat stick. They're gonna get the paddle. Oh, real talk. He's being serious. Okay, yeah, people who also knew, but that. Oh wow. I mean, the thing is, they're not expelled now, but that really puts things into perspective. It really does. That ship's not sailing. That ship better not sail, okay? What was that? He just jacked it. Where did you hear about you? Oh, so that's where that's where that plot came in? Okay, I mean, why he steal from Kaminari though? Okay, so that plot thread wasn't gonna go anywhere. So it was just his allowance. He spent all his money to save his best friend. Okay. Did my ears deceive me? This kid, man, he just doesn't stop. Oh, but the ominous aura of Aizawa. Yo, it's basically like a college campus. Oh, oh man, in Otaku's room. He can't help himself. That's hilarious. That is, I want to see everyone's room now. I didn't even think Midori was gonna bring all his merchandise. That's beautiful. I want to see his. Okay, like gothic horror type of stuff, purple and black, and a crucifix type of thing. Okay, a blade. Oh, is that just for show, or we might see that later? That's kind of cool. Bro, I'm loving this dorm system already. God, they already left. Who's that? Oh no, no! Oh no! They did him so dirty. They did him so dirty. Why do people keep spitting out of their mouth? All the girls have been just spitting up this entire episode. Are we not gonna see Bakugo's room? Is it just gonna... I really want to see that kid's room. This guy's scheming. This guy's... Oh my god. This... Oh my god. He got the drool. He got the drool. But he's waterfalling. This guy... Oh man. Mineta MVP of the episode. He already earned it. He already earned it. Oh, okay. Got like a training room. I like it. Damn, that's more basic than the tail guy. He's trying to find some dirt on this guy. Next up, Todoroki. Oh, half and half maybe? Maybe one side of the room is white and the other one's red? Okay, yeah, okay. Everyone has their own culture type of thing with their room. Real talk, man. How did all these kids get this stuff in their room already? I like that room. That room looks mad dope. I love the instruments. She has no. Oh, she's kind of like twiddling her fingers, but with her ear jacks. That's adorable. What is wrong with this kid? What is wrong with this kid? He has no leash. Bro, they got money. That bed takes up half the room. Aw, man, reeled them in with the sweets. Oh my god, why does every episode gotta hit me hard, man? So even though this episode of My Hero didn't go in the direction that I ultimately wanted it to, I gotta admit, I still had a lot of fun watching this episode. It was centered on more of the comedic side. We had a lot of hilarious moments between all the characters, and some of them were more serious and heartwarming than others. We had that big bombshell from the beginning. Well, I mean, not really even a bombshell. It was more like an eye-opener when Aizawa basically told the other students, like, hey, if All Might did not retire right now, so if, like, basically if All Might didn't go all in and he somehow was still around, like, you know, as part of the teaching class and whatnot, he essentially would have expelled every single person that was in the room with, you know, Deku, basically saying, like, yo, let's plan to do this, let's all go out and try to save Bakugo. And it's not even just narrowing it down to the people that actually went to save Bakugo. It's also the people that didn't stop them, that didn't tell the authorities or the teachers that, hey, these kids are scheming and they're gonna try and go out and risk their lives. So in a way, I'm kind of glad that Aizawa basically told them that, because, you know, in any other show or, you know, story of fiction, the teachers or the authorities, for that matter, would have probably said, you know, you broke the rules, you disobeyed orders, blah, 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 all that stuff. And then they would have said, but you did the right thing. You know, what you did was courageous and brave. You know, just don't do it again. A little slap on the wrist. And while they didn't really get a slap on the wrist in this episode, it really just put things into perspective. Like, what if there was an alternate timeline where All Might somehow, I'm not saying that that was even possible, but somehow didn't, you know, burn out all the embers remaining in himself for One for All, and he somehow was able to defeat you know, All for One, and he was able to come back to the school as, you know, a teacher, being able to, you know, turn into his form and whatnot. Essentially everyone, the majority of class 1A would have been expelled. I don't know about you guys, but for me that was an eye-opener. It basically told them, like, hey, you guys were this close, this damn close for Aizawa. Even though he loves all you guys, he would have expelled all of your asses because you didn't follow the rules, plain and simple. So I definitely like that one line dropped in the beginning, and they didn't dwell on it for too long. It wasn't like this big plot thread like, oh my god, we would have been expelled, we have to think of like new strategies to get around these teachers. Like, no, it was just something very small, and it was just meant to be like, yo, be careful the next time you do this, because it might be the last time you're a student at this prestigious school. So beyond that, the rest of the episode was entirely comedic. We had the room presentation, which I gotta admit, that was my favorite part of the whole episode. We got to see more of the dormitories and see, like, you know, how the girls and the guys are split up amongst the buildings. But like I said, the best part of the episode was the room presentation. It really showed more of the personalities for certain characters. You had some that were, you know, plain and simple. They don't really like too much in their rooms, and they just have a basic design in there. But then going beyond that, you had these other characters that went way too deep into like redesigning their room, some of which was like really unrealistic in the sense that, bro, you've only been here a day. How in the world did you change the interior design by that much? And if I was to choose like what was my favorite out of all the rooms, I mean, each of them had something that I liked. You know, the ones that were actually going all out. I like the ones that did like a culture twist to it. Like some, I think Todoroki's was like the Japanese style one. A lot of the other ones also had some cultural twist to it, but I think overall my favorite one was Jito's, where she had like, you know, the instruments and the punk rock stuff all up in her room. I mean, I'm just a sucker for music, and I really like how she had like a piano in the background, like a keyboard. She had a drum set. She probably has like a mic stand somewhere in there as well. I just loved that room's aesthetics as a whole. But everyone's room had something going for it, aside from, you know, the plain ones, the ones that were like I think Shijo, the guy with the multiple arms. His was like the most basic. It was just like literally a futon. And that's it. I think there was one more thing on the side of the room. I can't remember what it was, but it was like maybe a desk or something. I don't know, some small little box. And, you know, you have Mineta going in there trying to dig through them like, oh, this guy has like some dirty secret somewhere. I gotta find it. So that was really funny. We didn't get to see Mineta's room. I really wanted to see what this pervy ass kid had stashed away in there, because he was doing that creepy finger wag to all the other students, especially the girl students, saying like, yo, I got something to show you. So that was hella creepy. I kind of wish we got to see what Mineta, you know, how he even designed his room. Maybe a lot of great balls everywhere to get stuck to. Okay, my imagination's running way too wild. Let's move on past them. We didn't get to see Sudo's room, and we didn't get to see Bakugo's room. So those would have been two interesting rooms I wanted to see. We also got development for Sudo towards the very end. Basically her admitting that, you know, she said some terrible things to them. Basically comparing the people that went out to save Bakugo as villains because they broke the rules. And, you know, she wanted to amend that bridge that, you know, was filled because of all those terrible things that she said. So that was fixed towards the end of the episode. And one last plot thread that I wanted to touch on, it was the part with Kirishima, the one where, you know, back then when it seemed that he got goggles, those night vision goggles out of nowhere, and he talked about like, oh, I don't know where this money came from. Oh no, he didn't say I don't know where this money came from. He said, don't worry about it. I somehow got this. I looked way too deep into that. I was thinking like it was going to be something involved with his family. Maybe they're insanely rich and he doesn't want people to know. But it seemed like a very simple plot thread as what this episode established. He just used his entire allowance. He used all his money that he had, you know, saved up to buy those goggles because they were mad expensive. And Bakugo realized it. Even though he jacked the money from another student to give it to Kirishima. So that was kind of effed up in a way. I don't know if maybe that character owed Bakugo money already. It just seemed kind of weird. He literally brought him behind the bushes, and then the guy like uses electric abilities, and then he's like, you know, buzzed out and whatever. So then Bakugo gives Kirishima the money. So that plot thread was, you know, fixed by the end of that. I was thinking that was going to be more deep than, you know, just that. But I guess in a way it kind of is. It kind of shows that Kirishima and Bakugo have a good rivalry friendship going on with them. More so than Deku and Bakugo. So I definitely liked how it really established how strong their bond is. Kirishima was willing to spend all this money to, you know, help save Bakugo, even though Momo could have, or Yomo, whatever. Even though she could have created night vision goggles for them. Kirishima went out of his way to buy the night vision goggles instead. So that was really touching. It showed their development and whatnot. And aside from that, it was a pretty chill episode. Once again, the plot isn't really moving forward, so to speak. I'm assuming maybe next week's episode might establish more, because we didn't even get a scene with the villains in this episode. No hint as to what the villains are thinking. What are they scheming? Absolutely nothing. So it was a pretty much chill episode. Still hella funny. I gotta admit, I like this episode much more than last week's in terms of enjoyment, because even though last week's episode was a very much needed aftermath episode to see how society is reacting to the villains attacking, I still pretty much preferred this episode. This episode was mad hilarious, really enjoyable and whatnot, and I'm excited to see where it's gonna go from here. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Did the anime skip out on any rooms from any of these students? Because if they did, I'm gonna be hella salty. I might look in the manga really quickly to see what rooms we didn't see, but I like seeing everyone's room. It showed off their personality, showed off, you know, what they're into, and it gives them more character. That's what I love. Class 1A, you look at something more interesting in each of them, and that's what I love about this series. I care about each and every one of these characters, and I cannot wait to see what development some of them are going to get in the near future. So once again, leave your comments down below. Let me know what you thought of the episode. If you enjoyed the episode, leave a thumbs up on the video as well. It helps the channel a lot more than you know. Click that dumbbell next to the subscribe button so you can stay up to date with all my videos whenever I upload them. And don't forget, as always, to stay beautiful. I'm Ajax the Mister, and as always, folks, thanks for watching and have a great day.